Hi, my name is Catherine Yetz, and I am the AGS tutor at Wisconsin Lutheran College. Today we will be going over the meal plan. First, let's discuss what a paragraph even is. Paragraphs come in different sizes, but a rule of thumb is to have 6 to 8 sentences. With 6 to 8 sentences, a topic can be fully explored and not cut short. A paragraph should have a single focus. In each paragraph, you are proving one point. Stick with one topic at a time so readers are not confused. The focus of the body paragraphs is determined by the thesis. We will go into this in more detail later with specific examples. For most papers, such as book reviews, short research papers, and literary analyses, the thesis will clearly outline the paper and main ideas. Points made in a paragraph, each and every sentence, should clearly link together, which can be accomplished through the meal plan. The meal plan structures the body paragraphs of an essay. The letters in this acronym stand for main point, evidence, analysis, and link. Putting together a paragraph is like putting together a meal. When following a recipe, all the ingredients are needed in order for the meal to taste good. When writing a paragraph, all of these elements are needed in order for the paragraph to read well and make sense. Every paragraph needs a main point, evidence, analysis, and a final linking sentence. The main idea is the first sentence of a paragraph that captures the main point that is being discussed in the paragraph. It is also known as the topic sentence. The main idea supports the thesis and is generally one sentence, but can be up to 2. There should be no quotes or paraphrasing in your main idea. This is in your own words. Let's look at an example. Here we have the thesis and the main idea of each body paragraph to follow. Through the thesis, we see that this paper is about Poe's short story demonstrating aspects of the American Romantic Revolution. To prove this, there are 3 points, and these 3 points are plugged into the main idea sentence of each body paragraph. So for this paper, the main idea sentence include rejection of classism, fervent idealism, and remoteness regarding space and time. Words such as also, another, finally, or last can help guide the reader through your paper and help your writing flow. Here we see in the second main idea sentence, also was utilized, and in the last main idea sentence, the word last was used to signal that this is the final point. The evidence is used to prove the main idea. Evidence should not just be a quote thrown in for no reason. It has to be relevant to what you are talking about. Evidence can come from a variety of places. It can be facts, such as statistics or a definition. Expert opinions can be used from scholarly articles. If allowed in your paper, personal experiences can be used as evidence or examples from others' lives. Now let's look at an example. So the main idea is that in Moby Dick, Ishmael sees the sea as something spiritual or supernatural. The evidence is a quote from the book, which shows how Ishmael views the sea. Notice that the quote is introduced. Be sure to answer the question of who said this, where is this said, or at what point in the story does this take place within the quote introduction. Introduce a quote like you would a friend, giving a little background. The context of the quote is given first. Then, in quotations, is the verbatim text, followed by a citation in APA format. This is how evidence from books and scholarly texts should look within your paper. Why is the evidence significant to your main point? How does it prove the main idea? These questions should be answered in your analysis. The majority of your paragraph should be your analysis, about up to 80%. You can use specific words from the text within your analysis, but it should be mostly in your own words, not continuing what your evidence said. That's plagiarism. Again, explain how the quote proves your main point. In this example, the main idea is how a teacher uses their voice in the classroom affects students' learning. The evidence is that teachers should not talk like Ben Stein because it bores students. Now, why is this evidence significant? It's significant because students aren't learning if they are bored, which is talked about in the analysis. I've only pasted part of the analysis up here just so you can see a few significant elements. Notice a lot of the words used in the evidence are repeated here, such as tone and rhythm. There are also more words related to sound. It also brings up the main idea of the teacher's voice affecting students' learning. There seems to be an ongoing debate as to what exactly the L links to in the Emil plan. Most say it links back to the thesis, and this is probably the best way to go. Bring the paragraph back to the central argument of the essay by explaining how this evidence relates to the paragraph as a whole. If you're only writing a paragraph and not an entire paper, it is a good idea to wrap up your paragraph by ending with linking back to your main idea. Some think that the link should be to your main idea in your next paragraph, creating a transition. While this can help your writing flow, it is best to leave your next point in the next paragraph. Linking back to the thesis keeps paragraphs from feeling open-ended and shows your readers how what you just talked about links in with what you're talking about as a whole. So in the example, we have a thesis. St. John's would have a better learning environment if certain rules were more lenient than a few rules are listed. The link relates directly back to the thesis, almost word for word. It also begins with the word thus, signaling you are coming to the closing point. You can help bring your paragraph to a conclusion with words like therefore, thus, in conclusion, and resulting. I'm sure you've noticed throughout this lesson that there is a good amount of repetition. Repetition helps your reader follow what you are saying. Alright, now let's bring it all together now. The main idea is what your paragraph is focused on. The evidence proves the main idea through scholarly or personal examples. The analysis is in your own words, how the evidence supports the main idea. The link links what you're saying back to the thesis. That concludes our lesson. I hope you enjoyed your meal. If you have further questions or would like to schedule a tutoring appointment, please feel free to contact me by email. Catherine.Yetz@mail.wlc.edu